Okay, imagine this. You need to get a really critical message out, not just to a few people, but maybe across a huge university campus or a massive factory floor with all sorts of machinery humming away.
Yeah, or even like a remote industrial site, maybe out in the elements.
Yes, exactly. How do you possibly cut through all that noise? I mean, both the literal sound and just, the general chaos to make sure your voice is actually heard clearly and right away.
That's a real challenge.
It really is. And that challenge is exactly what we're diving into today. We're focusing on a specific piece of tech built for these kinds of high-stakes communication problems. It's the Uniview IPS3020-30S IP horn speaker.
Right.
And we're not just glancing at a brochure, we're using its detailed product page from AlphaVision as our guide, really digging in to figure out what makes this particular horn speaker such a powerhouse for things like proactive deterrence and mass notification.
And how it fits into the bigger picture, right? The
Yeah.
security systems, operational stuff.
Right. Precisely. Our mission here is to walk away really understanding not just what it is, but why it's so crucial in certain situations.
You mentioned AlphaVision providing the info.
Mm-hmm.
That context is actually pretty interesting. They're not just some random reseller.
Oh.
Yeah, they've been featured in Built Worlds for their work using AI to transform construction. And they're going to be at GSX 2025, which, is a huge security industry event.
Okay, so they're definitely players in this space.
Right. So it suggests this speaker isn't just some standalone gadget. It's seen as a key part of, more advanced integrated systems. Helps frame why we're looking at it.
That does add weight. Good point. Okay, so let's unpack the device itself then. Fundamentally, what are we talking about? What is the Uniview IPS3020-30S? What's its main job?
Well, at its core, the description calls it a robust IP horn speaker. And those words, robust and IP, are really important here.
Okay.
Its main goal, its primary purpose, is delivering high intelligibility audio announcements.
High intelligibility, not just loud.
Exactly. It's not just about volume, it's about clarity. Making sure every single word of an urgent message, maybe a security alert, is understood perfectly, even if the environment is noisy or chaotic. That difference, high intelligibility, that can be absolutely critical in an emergency.
Makes sense. Definitely sounds like a step up from, say, just a basic bullhorn. Now, speaking of cutting through noise, the specs really highlight its built-in 30W digital amplifier, 30 watts. For someone listening trying to picture this, what does that actually mean in practice? For its reach, its effectiveness in those big outdoor areas or industrial zones we mentioned.
Yeah, the 30-watt amplifier is basically the engine driving the sound. Think about trying to shout across, a busy parking lot or a construction site.
Right, your voice gets lost.
Totally. This 30W amp gives it the muscle needed for loud, clear audio for wide area coverage. You need that power in a huge warehouse with forklifts buzzing around, or like you said, a sprawling outdoor site where sound just seems to vanish. A standard speaker, something with less power. It might not even be heard over the ambient noise, let alone be understood. 30 watts means your message punches through, projects over distance, and overcomes that background din. It makes it work where weaker systems just wouldn't cut it.
Okay, so it's got the power. Got it.
Yeah.
But you also highlighted the IP part earlier. You called it an IP speaker. Now, for folks more familiar with traditional, maybe older analog PA systems, what's the big deal about IP? What does that actually change?
IP here stands for Internet Protocol. It fundamentally shifts how the speaker connects and communicates. It means this speaker lives on your computer network.
Ah, like a PC or an IP camera.
Exactly. Just like those devices, this is a huge leap from old-school analog systems. Those needed their own dedicated, often pretty expensive wiring runs for every single speaker.
Right, I remember that. Lots of complex cabling.
Yeah. With an IP speaker, though, it talks digitally over your existing standard network infrastructure, your Ethernet cables, and that simple fact just blows the doors open for integration possibilities, remote control, scaling the system up.
So it's not just outputting sound, it's part of the network.
Precisely. It becomes a smart, networked communication point within your whole digital setup. It's a two-way street, in a sense.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And if it's a networked component, that immediately leads to thinking about how it connects with other systems. The source mentions it supports key protocols like SubIT, ONVIF, and standard audio streaming protocols. For someone designing or integrating a security system, how do these protocols enable that seamless integration you talked about?
This is where it gets really powerful. Let's take SubIP session initiation protocol. That's the backbone for most voice over IP, VoIP phone systems.
Okay.
So with SIP support, you could literally pick up a phone, dial the speaker's extension, and make a live announcement. Or even better, tie it into your existing facility or campus phone system for sending out mass notifications.
Wow, okay, so dial the speaker.
Yeah. And then there's ONVIF. That's the big standard in the physical security world for how IP devices, especially cameras, talk to each other and to management systems.
Right, ONVIF is everywhere in security cameras.
It is. Now, connect those dots. Imagine you have a security camera using ONVIF that detects someone in a restricted area after hours.
Okay.
Instead of just passively recording, that camera could instantly trigger this horn speaker. It could play a pre-recorded warning message, "You are in a restricted area," or even let a live operator in a control room speak directly through the horn.
Whoa.
"Hey, you in the red jacket, leave the premises." That's not just integration. That's turning your security system from just watching into actively responding. It's a vocal deterrent. It massively speeds up response and could stop an incident right there.
That is genuinely powerful. Your system isn't just observing anymore, it's actively communicating, maybe even intervening. Very cool. And thinking about deployment, making all this network smartness easier to install, the product supports power over Ethernet, IEEE 802.3AF. PoE is always a nice feature, but why is it particularly beneficial for a device like this horn speaker?
Oh, PoE is fantastic for this kind of application. It simplifies installation dramatically and cuts costs. It means you just need one standard Ethernet cable running to the speaker.
Just one.
Yep. That single cable delivers both the electrical power the speaker needs and the network data connection. Think of it like getting your internet and your electricity through the same pipe. Super efficient.
Compared to needing a separate power outlet nearby, plus the network cable.
Exactly. That means more wiring, often needing an electrician and a network tech, higher installation costs, more points of failure. With PoE, you slash the cabling, the labor, the materials.
Yeah.
It's especially huge in large areas or remote spots where running new power lines would be a major hassle and expense.
Right.
It lets you put the speaker exactly where it needs to go for the best sound coverage without worrying so much about where the nearest power outlet is. Much more flexibility.
Less cable, less hassle, faster setup. Definitely a big practical win. And for the tech enthusiasts listening, the specs also mention an RJ45-200-100M Ethernet port and support for audio codecs, G711, G722, plus flexibility on power, 12 VDC or PoE. What do these details add to the picture?
They basically just round out the confirmation that this is a proper network device. The RJ45 port is your standard Ethernet connector, so yeah, it plugs right into any typical network switch or router.
Plug and play.
Pretty much. The audio codecs, G711 and G722, are kind of like different quality levels for the sound transmission over the network.
Yep.
G711 is the workhorse, standard voice quality, very efficient and reliable.
Okay.
But G722 offers higher fidelity wideband audio. So going back to that high intelligibility point,
Okay, right.
and you need crystal clear voice, maybe for complex instructions in an emergency, G722 helps ensure that clarity isn't lost in the digital transmission. It delivers better audio quality over the network.
And having both 12 VDC and PoE options.
Just gives you flexibility. If you have an installation scenario where PoE isn't available for some reason, or maybe you prefer dedicated power supply, you still have that option with a standard 12V DC input. Covers more bases.
Got it. Okay, so we've established it's powerful, it's smart, it's well-connected. Let's talk about where it lives, the environments it has to survive. The source material really emphasizes its durability, particularly that IP66 weatherproof rating. What does IP66 actually mean in practical terms? Why is that so vital?
That IP rating is absolutely critical for anything going outdoors, or even in harsh indoor spots like a dusty factory. IP means ingress protection. The two numbers tell you how well it resists solids and liquids.
Okay, so 6 and 6.
The first 6 means it's completely dust tight. No dust can get inside the housing at all. Zero ingress.
Total seal against dust.
Yep. And the second 6 is about water protection. It means it's protected against powerful water jets. We're not talking about just being splash-proof or rain-resistant.
Yeah.
No. IP66 means it could literally handle being sprayed down with a high-pressure hose from any direction, and the electronics inside would stay perfectly dry. It's designed to withstand serious weather, torrential rain, driving snow, heavy washdowns.
Wow, so really built for the elements.
Absolutely. It makes it suitable for pretty much any outdoor application you can think of, where it's going to face rain, dust, grime, you name it.
That's some serious toughness. And to back that up, the operating conditions listed are pretty extreme. -30 degrees to +60 degrees C, which is what? -22 degrees to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, plus humidity up to 95% non-condensing. That covers a massive range of climates, doesn't it?
It really does. From deep freezes well below 0 Fahrenheit to scorching desert heat well above 100 degrees. And high humidity, too. That wide operating range means this speaker is built to function reliably pretty much anywhere in the world, regardless of the climate extremes. Consistent performance is key.
Yeah, you need it to work when it counts, no matter the weather. And what about the physical construction itself? The housing is described as die-cast aluminum. Is that just a strong metal, or is there more to it?
Die-cast aluminum is a specific choice for a few reasons. Yes, it's strong, but it's also very durable against corrosion, which is vital outdoors. It's also relatively lightweight for its strength.
Oh, okay.
So it contributes significantly to the overall robustness it can handle, not just weather, but also, the occasional knock or vibration you might get in an industrial setting or a public space. It's tough inside and out.
Built like a tank, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
For this kind of application, you need that level of physical resilience.
Okay. And the specs also mention high SPL output, again, emphasizing clear, long-range sound and flexible mounting. Wall or pole mount, bracket included. Plus, physical size and weight roughly 9.6 by 6.9 by 10.9 inches and just under 5 pounds. How did these physical details play into its role?
Well, the high SPL output, SPL standing for sound pressure level, just confirms again it has the acoustic power to push that clear sound out over distance.
Yeah.
High SPL equals loud and far-reaching, essentially.
Got it.
The dimensions and weight tell you it's substantial enough to house the amplifier and driver needed for that SPL, but still manageable. Under 5 pounds isn't bad at all for installation.
Right. Easy enough to handle on a ladder or lift.
Exactly. And including the bracket for both wall and pole mounting is just smart design. It means you have options for positioning it optimally pretty much anywhere on the side of a building, on a dedicated pole, whatever works best for coverage. Versatility.
Makes sense. And lastly, on the build side, a quick mention of CE, FCC, or OHS certifications. For anyone deploying these in, say, public or commercial spaces, those little logos are quite important, aren't they?
Absolutely crucial. CE marking is for European conformity. FCC is for the U.S. regarding electromagnetic interference, and OHS restricts hazardous substances.
So basically they mean it's safe, compliant, and won't mess with other electronics.
Precisely. They're non-negotiable for most commercial or public sector projects. They give you assurance that the product meets important safety and regulatory standards. Peace of mind, essentially.
Okay, great. We've really gotten into the technical details here. Now let's bring it all back to the real world. Where does a device like this Uniview speaker actually make a critical difference? What are those primary use cases?
The main applications really highlight why it's needed. It's commonly used for security alerts, public announcements, and emergency communication.
Right.
Think about the difference between, say, a silent alarm going off somewhere versus an immediate clear voice telling people exactly what's happening and what they need to do. During a fire alarm, or maybe a campus lockdown situation, or even just a severe weather alert hitting a large industrial complex.
That immediate information is key.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That direct, actionable information can genuinely save lives, prevent panic, guide people safely. It's about having that reliable, instant voice when seconds really matter.
Yeah, absolutely. The source gives a pretty diverse list of places these get deployed: commercial security zones, school campuses, factories, warehouses, transit hubs, and also mentions things like logistics yards and parking areas. What's the common denominator across such different environments?
The common thread is usually large physical spaces, often with a lot of background noise, and always with a critical need for clear, fast communication to potentially many people at once.
Makes sense.
Whether it's a school needing to reach hundreds of students instantly, or a noisy factory needing to guide workers during an evacuation, or a big logistics yard broadcasting safety messages to drivers spread out over a large area, this speaker provides that centralized, powerful voice.
So it really becomes a vital tool for safety and operations in these sprawling or noisy places.
Exactly. It's a linchpin for ensuring safety, security, and just operational efficiency, where simpler communication methods would just get lost in the noise or wouldn't reach everyone needed.
So it's really about more than just making noise. The value lies in enabling things like proactive deterrence and mass notification capabilities. That feels like the strategic takeaway, doesn't it? Enhancing safety, security, operations through really effective, targeted communication.
That's precisely it. Proactive deterrence is about using that voice capability to maybe prevent something from happening in the first place.
How so?
Well, imagine someone trespassing on a property at night. Hearing a loud, clear warning message suddenly broadcast from the speaker, even if it's automated, triggered by a sensor, can be incredibly unnerving.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That psychological impact, that feeling of being watched and addressed directly, can often be enough to make them think twice and leave. That's deterrence.
Okay. And mass notification.
That's the ability to get a critical message out to a large group of people simultaneously, clearly, and quickly during an emergency or important event. Think evacuation instructions, shelter-in-place orders, safety alerts.
Critical comms.
These capabilities really elevate the speaker. It's not just an audio output device anymore. It becomes an active, integral part of your whole security and safety strategy. It's about ensuring messages aren't just sent, but are actually received and understood by everyone who needs to hear them, directly impacting well-being and efficiency.
This has been a really thorough look. This deep dive into the Uniview IPS3020-30S IP horn speaker, it really shows how much engineering and, frankly, strategic thinking goes into what might seem like just a loudspeaker.
It does.
We've seen it's powerful, incredibly durable, highly integrated thanks to that IP networking, really essential for effective communication in some pretty tough environments.
Absolutely. And, really digging into a specific piece of hardware like this, I think it gives you a much better appreciation for the kind of robust connected infrastructure that actually underpins modern safety systems and operational efficiency.
Yeah, it's more than just a speaker.
Much more. It's a critical output device, almost like a sensory output within a larger, often intelligent system.
Well said. And maybe that leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Given what we've discussed, the capabilities packed into just one device like this IPS3020-30S, its power, its toughness, its seamless network integration, what new possibilities, maybe ones we haven't even fully grasped yet, open up for truly integrated security and smart infrastructure when components like this are woven together intelligently?
Interesting question.
Think beyond just construction sites or factories. How could these kinds of network vocal elements transform our everyday environments, our workplaces, public squares, transit systems, making them more responsive, potentially safer, more efficient places? Something to think about.